How are you guys doing? Today is Saturday, November 20th, 2021. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to do an elite individual profile for Youssoufa Moukoko, the elite young attacker from Cameroon who currently playing for Borussia Dortmund and now representing Germany, now turned 17 today. And in this episode, I'm really going to point out what in his short career has pointed out that Youssoufa Moukoko deserves to belong in a class of his own when it comes to classifying soccer players. And of course, I get into the spiel every time, and I'm definitely going to get into it with Youssoufa Moukoko, considering how many players in the world are trying out to become professional soccer players. Making it to the soccer league is incredibly hard, especially a top five league, especially like the Bundesliga. Youssoufa Moukoko, I will get into this very quickly, and I think that when I bring up his backstory leading to him getting here, it'll all make sense. So originally born in Cameroon, he would eventually come to represent Germany as he would end up playing most of his youth career at FC St. Pauli in Hamburg. He would eventually find himself on the Borussia Dortmund youth organization. He would find himself getting called up to the Borussia Dortmund team one day after he turned 16, because in Bundesliga, if you are eligible to join the Bundesliga once you turn 16. Once he subbed in a day after his 16th birthday, he became the youngest Bundesliga player to ever play in a game after he subbed for Erling Haaland. He would go on to sub on for another player for Champions League, as he would go on to be the youngest player to sub in, as he subbed in when he was 16 years and 18 days old. He would go on to make his very first start for Dortmund in the Bundesliga against Werder Bremen. He was the youngest player to do so, and he made his very first goal 3 days later against Union Berlin. He became the youngest goal scorer in the history of the Bundesliga when he was 16 years old and 28 days old, surpassing the record held by Florian Wirtz, who was a whole year and a little less than a week older than Youssoufa Moukoko was. Considering he's 16 years old, scoring on grown men in Germany, I believe that's the argument himself. But of course, I'm going to get into the player that he is. Right now he's standing in at about 5'10", but of course he's still growing. I have no idea how tall he's going to be. He's very fast, very quick-footed, very confident. He has a very strong leg, and I think he's very determined with what he was doing. The whole reason he got moved up to the senior league so quickly is that he was virtually dominating the U20 leagues as a 15, 14-year-old teenager. He would finally get called up to the Borussia Dortmund team in his age 16 season in 2021-2022. Or I guess 2020, 2021, because that's the year he actually turned it. He would start 2 of the 14 matchups he played in a season in which Borussia Dortmund would finish with the third best record in the Bundesliga. However, they would go on to win the DFB Pokal final, as they ended up beating Leipzig, and Youssoufa Moukoko would end up taking that trophy home. He wouldn't play a single game in the Pokal, but the trophy he was still a big part of that team. He would go on to play in one Champions League matchup in a season in which Borussia Dortmund would end up getting knocked out in the quarterfinals. They would end up losing to Manchester City, who ended up making it all the way to the final, losing to Chelsea in the final. Also, Youssoufa Moukoko would like I said, he would end up playing like 14 games in the Bundesliga. And also at the moment, Youssoufa Moukoko is still on the Germany U21 team at the moment at 17 years old, which is still incredibly impressive, meaning that it's a matter of time before he gets promoted to the actual senior team. But I imagine he still has a good amount of ways to go. But considering where he is right now, looking at what he's doing, he's played in 6 games for Dortmund, and he started 1 game for Dortmund too. as he's still trying to get his legs under him, dealing with a little bit of injury, trying to get himself running and trying to get himself ready in game shape for whenever Borussia Dortmund is ready for him. But the question is compared to players his age, is he definitely an elite player? I think the question is undoubtedly yes. For him to be incredibly young and for him to be not a vital part in Borussia Dortmund's attacking sequence, it shows that considering he has so much room to grow, where he's starting right now is an incredible place to be at this point in his career. And I can't wait to see what this player blossoms into, considering I'm doing an elite profile for a kid that was born in November 2004. But with that said, can't wait to see what this kid does going forward. If you ever get a chance to watch him, I would recommend doing so. He wears number 18. And at the end of this, I want to end this by saying I want to wish Youssoufa Moukoko a happy 17th birthday. And if you ever get a chance, I would recommend. Thanks for listening to all 5-6 minutes of this piece. Hopefully he has more to talk about by this time next year. And yeah, Youssoufa Moukoko is one of the reasons I like doing profiles on the younger players who have a lot of their career ahead of them. Thanks once again for listening. I hope all is well, and I'll catch you with more tomorrow once all of today's exhibitions are done. Until then, thanks for listening. I hope all is well, and peace out. I'll catch you tomorrow.